All right, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Oh, here we go. Just want to make sure that we're good to go here. Let's see. All right, good morning. Happy Wednesday. What day are we on? 5th of August, August 5th. Woo, big day tomorrow for the wife. It's our anniversary. I will say this daily to continually remind her. Huge day on Friday for two of my good friends. They're going to get married. Hello! What the hell? Look at this guy. Good morning, Kevin. Checking in from Las Vegas, which means it's 5 a.m. in Vegas. My good buddy, Kevin. It is hump day. Hello, Kevin and family. I doubt the family's up unless one of the kids woke you up. Why are you awake anyway? Yeah, so tomorrow's 14 years of wedded bliss. And then Friday, our friends are getting married. You know, they were supposed to already have been married, but this whole COVID thing delayed it a couple of months. So they'll be getting married on Friday. And let me just tell you that you're going to want to see their wedding pictures because they crushed swimming day today. I'm sorry, Kevin. I'm sorry for you having to swim. But it's crazy that you actually, I think that race might still happen. I don't know. It's hard to say. But yeah, they absolutely crushed the last 6.5 weeks of their meal plans to the point where like we got them within swimming for Matt is definitely overrated. We got them like so dialed in. I'm pretty pumped to see. I'm sure that for her final dress fitting, the person's gonna be a little pissed. But hey, you know what? She's gonna look great. He's gonna look great. The weather's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great day for them. So I'm super pumped about Friday. Some friends of mine getting married. Pretty excited because I got a bunch of surprises in store for Elizabeth for our first overnight since the boys, or whatever, since COVID. Morning, Deborah. Yeah, so yeah, that's busy end of the week here. And then, you know, we got the weekend. So hopefully this weekend you guys have the opportunity to go, you know, get some work in. Kevin will probably be swimming again. No, Kevin will be running and biking this weekend instead. So I heard something pretty interesting today on one of the podcasts that I listened to, and this is not at all what we're going to talk about, so I'm just going to mention it quickly. We might talk about it in the future, but he was saying, like, if you had to take inventory of your last 1,000 days, which is a long time, that's, you know, 3 years-ish, you know, how much of every day did you commit to working towards wherever you want to be? And I started thinking about that, and I was like, man, I don't even know if you could really gauge that. You know, now if I said, okay, over the next 3 years, this is where I want to be here in 3 years, and these are the steps that I'm going to take to get there. But I think it would be very hard to like kind of look back. But then he even broke it down as far as to say, like, you know, in the last 1,000 days, would you say that like 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 3 days a week, every day, like how much per day from the last 1,000 days did you truly work to where you want to go? And if you didn't, why? Which obviously is kind of a loaded question, but it got me thinking, and I was like, that puts, you know, that really, because really, if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, right? Deep question. In the grand scheme of things, something like that is it's 3 years, but if you're looking, let's take it into, instead of fitness and nutrition, let's look at it from a career perspective. 3 years is a small step in your career, right? I mean, like if you think of it, if you plan on being at your job, or if you're 25, 35, or even like me in your 40s now, because I can say that because I'm over 40, is, you know, you can say like, man, I've still got 25 years of doing this. Am I focused? Like if I focus really hard for 3 years and I do something every single day to make Ultimate Health and Performance in my nutrition business and my coaching business one tiny bit better, what would that look like in 6 years? Right? Because if I think back the last 3 years, it's like, man, this Ultimate Health and Performance was literally in its infancy. It was born 3 years ago. So, I mean, I guess I could say I've worked it, but I can guarantee that I haven't worked at it every day. There's been, you know, so that's something just kind of think about, whether it's your fitness, whether it's your nutrition, you know, and again, like we can take nutrition to the broader perspective and say your overall health. All right, so we'll talk more about that because I really like that concept. And I'm trying to figure out how I don't know. I got to think about that one more. But anyway, today, quickly, since I just spent half the time talking about that, wanted to talk about, there's a few things like that kind of hits simultaneously. Like, so like I'm ketogenic 95% of the time. I've been following a keto diet since, I have to look back, because of course I would have this data. Since about July 13th. So 1, 2, 3, 4.5 weeks. I've been ketogenic for 4.5 weeks. I did it before when I was training for an Ironman. As more of an experiment, but this time I added fasting to it, so a little bit different. So I fast until noon about, and then I follow a ketogenic diet, and I usually have like 2 meals a day. Okay, so typically when people hear that, there's one of, like, I would say probably 4 most common responses. Okay, so the first would be, what? Really? Why? That's one. All one right there. Oh, I've done that, ... Is that even safe? And the last one that I came up with is, I've always wanted to try that, ... So this kind of, to me, is like this like, it's reaction, right? People will always react to this stuff. And so that was one thing that I was, you know, and people always ask me, they're like, is it safe? And it's like, it depends on how you do it. It depends on how you do anything. Training for an Ironman can be dangerous. Training for a swim can be dangerous. You know, it just depends on, it depends. There's so much more that goes into it than it's just not no, it's not safe. I have my master's in nutrition, and I continually do things that are unhealthy and dangerous from a nutritional perspective. Probably not. Matt, that was sarcasm. You know, so I was thinking about that the other day and about how we would talk about that. And then I heard something else that, you know, someone was doing, you know, if someone's training for a race and they go to the race, and whatever the reason is, let's say that they're doing Ironman and they don't finish in 17 hours. So they don't become an Ironman. Or they're doing a weight loss challenge and they drop out halfway through because it's too restrictive, it's too hard, blah, blah, blah. They quit. 95% of the people who comment, and I don't think most people are doing this like from a like a harm perspective, or not really harm perspective, but in a negative perspective, but they can sympathize because they've also run into these hardships, right? but 95% of the people will be like, oh, it's okay, you know, you did your best. And you know, races like that are designed to make you fail, or challenges like that are designed to make you fail. Trying to give you like a level of sympathy that isn't, they're trying to, you know, it's like the crabs in the bucket mentality, where, you know, you have some crabs in the bucket, one starts climbing out and the others pull that crab back down, because if they're stuck in here, you're stuck in here with us. And I think that a lot of times we're very reactive when we see, when we're talking to people, and even like when we see their comments, like we see that, oh, I quit on this nutrition challenge, and it's like, that's okay, don't worry about it. You know, challenges like that are designed to make you fail. And it's like, whoa, hold on, step back. Like, if you're telling this person that it's okay that they quit working towards something that they truly wanted, instead of maybe turning around and saying, you know, what's another way that you can stay in the fight and still see success and still work towards that goal that you had? Or, you know, it's supposed to be hard. You know, if you quit training for an Ironman 14 weeks in, 20 weeks in, because it's just too hard, it's, you know, the swim workouts are too much, I don't like doing, you know, 100 100s, because, you know, it's just, I mentally break. It's supposed to be hard. You know, Kristen and I used to joke around when we first started coaching athletes. Sorry, Mom, if you tune into this later. And, you know, people would complain all the time and say, oh, you know, this is so hard. Like, I'm so sore all the time. I'm tired all the time. And Kristen's first response was, this is fucking Ironman. And Deb knows this. Deb's heard Kristen say that. This is fucking Ironman. Like, this isn't, you know, the Burn 5K. Shout out to my friends in the local Syracuse area who run a great 5K. You know, those type of races are hard. So when your friend quits or, you know, runs into that, it's, you know what, dust yourself off, get back up. You're still in this fight. You're in this fight until the day that you truly do quit. And then, you know what, maybe you just weren't ready to do it. So go back to the training board and start over again. But don't, and again, I don't think people are doing it to be negative and like a consoling, like, oh, well, I'm purposely trying to pull you back down. But when we support failure, then, you know, it's just going to breed continual failure, because then it becomes acceptable to quit over and over again, right? So we want to make sure that, you know, and it's the same thing. I know you will never quit, Matt, which is why I'm telling you, you're not allowed to run that 50 miler, because you will never quit and you will probably get hurt, like 87% chance. Which brings me back to that reactive mentality, you know, again, of why would you do that? Or, oh, I've done that, but, and it's like, you know, really like step back, formulate the true questions, the true thoughts. And it's like, oh, I've always heard ketogenic was unhealthy. You know, obviously you probably know something about food that I don't. What are some of the benefits? Blah, blah, blah. Dialogue ensues. Instead, you know, so then you're opening yourself up, just like yesterday when we talked about like admitting when you're wrong. It allows you, you're opening yourself up to accept learning, right? And that's one of the things that we're really hard at doing, because we've heard it, we hear it, that it's, oh, you know, this is what's good, this is what's bad, and you're hearing it from people, a lot of times people that you trust, because it's an influencer. It's you know, it could be, you know, like Hugh Jackman when he was training for Wolverine. You know, his nutrition protocols and, you know, workout regimen, people were like, oh, well, you know, you look at Hugh Jackman, he looks amazing, you know, blah, blah. So he must know what he's doing. And it's like, he's a muse, he's a puppet. He's just doing what he's told by a professional. And that professional has geared that exactly for him based on his life, his situations, and all that stuff. So reactive, reaction, you know, take that step back, think about a lot of that stuff before you just, jump on a response or jump on, any of that stuff, a comment, a post, to take an extra second or two and think like, am I commenting to like try to bring them down, or am I commenting trying to educate myself on maybe this isn't something that's bad. Maybe this is, how can I help this person to make sure that they don't fail again, type of thing. Because again, it's, you never know. You might be like, you know what? Pick on Matt here for a second. And let's say that Matt goes to run this 50 miler in 2 months, and he quits halfway through, and all of the comments that come in are, "It's okay, Matt, don't worry about it. 50 miles on the trail is really tough, and a course like that, unsupported, you're designed, you're destined to fail." And you could be that one person that's like, "Hey, man, you just weren't ready. You know what? Sometimes tough love is a good thing, but hey, man, you weren't ready. I would be more than happy to work with you to help you get ready for the next one." He might scroll through all those and be like, "I feel good, I feel good, I feel good. This guy is going to help me get to where I need to be." And basically that's how Matt and I met, through Mike Sior and, some other stuff. But I was just like, no, you can do that, but you got to work at this. Because again, like if I sit there and stroke your ego is what got in your way. So stroking that ego isn't going to help you get even further ahead. It's going to prevent you from getting there. So a little food for thought on a Wednesday morning, very early Wednesday morning if you're living in the sunshine state of Las Vegas and down in Colorado, which I did see, Deb, I did see a video the other day that it was hailing in Colorado. So basically close enough for me to be able to say that it's still snowing in Colorado, which is where, you decided to go because Syracuse was too snowy for you. Go figure. Just kidding. But so, and then I'm going to think more, I'm going to marinate more on this 1,000 days that I heard and try to come up with something that would be, I don't know, maybe I'll talk to my buddy Derek and we can come up with something that would be like a good, maybe a 365, I don't know, we'll try to come up with something to, try to encapsulate it so that even if it's in like a journal format, like every day do something to work towards whatever your goal, like whatever it is, right? And I say Derek because he's much better with the PDF side of stuff than me. And even if it's some level of journal where we can make it as simple as like one sentence to how you're working towards your goal, or put a check if you hit your fitness goal from a long-term perspective today. Like, I don't know, think about it, make it cool. We'd make it I'm thinking like a PDF that we could make and just like put online, and then you can print it off. And if we can fit 30 days on a page or something, saves a bunch of paper, or make it digital. But that would be kind of cool. It'd give you a way that you could track, like, how am I progressing towards my career goals? How am I progressing towards my retirement? Because who's actually working towards their retirement? Beginning of COVID, I set up because I'm self-employed, my Vanguard account because I was like, I gotta have some kind of retirement. So I was like, that was one of my first COVID projects. Didn't know that it was gonna sit vacant for 6 weeks while we didn't catch a paycheck. But hey, there's at least the account set up. That's step one. So those are things like that you can start thinking about though. How am I what is the next 1,000 days gonna look like? But we'll talk more about it. I got a couple of ideas that I'm starting to lose focus on. But all right, that's how my brain works. You guys just took a quick ride inside the head of Ed. So hope you have a great Wednesday. It's 8:22 on August 5th. And yeah, I will see you cats tomorrow.